Hello, lords and ladies of YouTube, and welcome back to Nightly Gaming's Nightly Gaming. And today I will be showing you another Hearthstone deck that I have made. This one's kind of a slightly more silly deck in my opinion, but it actually, I did a few rounds with it before to see if it was even worth showing. And it actually kind of works. I won both matches. One was against a Beast Hunter and one was against a Ramp Druid. And both times it actually worked out fairly well. So the concept of the Battlecry Warlock is mostly just every card has Battlecry. So when I play it, it gives me an effect. So here's the deck build right here. As you can see, it's a fairly low curve. The idea of that is I want to be able to spam out my battle cries and be able to do as much in a single turn as I possibly can. The reason I chose Warlock over a few others is a few good cards like Flame Imp, Battlecry, 3 damage to your hero, but it's a 1/3/2, so it's good stats. Costs me 3 health, but not too big of a deal. Succubus is a 2/4/3, which is a good stats card again, which is what you get with Warlock cards usually. But discard a random card, which if you have no cards in your hand, which is easy to do with low cost cards. There's no real downside to it. Felguard, good, decent stat tank with taunt. So 3/3/5 taunt destroys one of your mana crystals, which basically just means if you play them on turn 3, you basically get 2 turn 3s worth of mana, basically. So I have a few other things in here, but the reason this deck is all kind of focused around is crowd favorite. I wish I had a second one of these. I think it would make the deck even better. But the whole concept of it is it's the only the only minion in my deck that does not have Battlecry. So whenever you play a card with Battlecry, gain +1/+1. So if I can play this on, for example, like turn 6, and I have 2 other of my, I have like a Flame Imp and a Voodoo Doctor or something like that. I can play them both, get +2/+2 in that one turn. That's why I kind of want the low cost ones, is so that way when I get that out, I can then spam a bunch of stuff out to strengthen it. So crowd favorite is kind of the heart of this deck. Now since I only have 1 instead of 2, it makes it much easier for them to just eliminate in one go, either with, for example, like a Shaman if they have a Hex, or Mage has Polymorph, and or a Fireball if I haven't gotten it past 6/6. Things like if it's another Warlock, they can always use Siphon Soul, all that kind of stuff. So, kill cards are going to be a problem here, but that's why the rest of the deck is meant to be able to survive on its own. So, I did throw one Dread Infernal here as kind of a higher cost card with Battlecry still, in case, I ever need that higher cost card to just kind of establish the field dominance and then play my lower cost cards to then continue the push. So another thing. The reason the Mortal Coil reminded me. So this deck also requires a lot of draw power to get, because you have such low cost cards. You're going to be spamming out cards a lot, so you want that draw power. Not to mention if you can get crowd favorite earlier, better. So Mortal Coil, deal 1 damage. If it kills it, draw a card. So that's a good way to do a little bit of damage, finish off a few, bigger monsters if you've thrown some of your smaller guys and weren't quite able to kill it, and it gets you draw. So the Flame Imp, Voodoo Doctor to restore that health that from the Warlock's passive, which is a draw, which is another reason I chose Warlock, because of that hero power. Drawing is going to be kind of important. Voodoo Doctors kind of help mitigate some of that damage you do to yourself. Acidic Swamp Ooze, Battlecry, but it also, decent stats, 2/3/2, it's like, a Bloodfin Raptor type of a thing. And in case you're against a Paladin who has, any of the really strong pally weapons, whether it be a Cog Hammer or a True Silver, or if you're against a Rogue or a Warrior or anything like that that has strong weapons, that's useful. So I just have 1 of those in the deck. 2 Ironbeak Owls, the silences are just super useful when you're dealing with any kind of thing that has annoying abilities. Novice Engineer is once again for that draw power. The 2/1/1 isn't the best, but the draw is nice as a Battlecry, not even as a Death Rattle, but as a Battlecry. Succubus, like I said, good stats. I have 2 Succubus, 2 Novice Engineers. I have 2 Sunfury Protectors. because giving those extra taunts are nice, and she's only 2 costs instead of 3, which means I get, I don't get any bonus stats like I would with a few others, but it's still nice to just have those taunts in for that cheaper cost. Coldlight Oracle, 3/2/2 isn't the best stats. Each player draws 2 cards, which means they get some draw power too, but I feel like the draw power is more valuable on this deck due to its lower curve against most decks. Against certain aggros, things like Face Hunter, for example, that can, be, a double-edged sword. It is one of those things you want to be careful about when you use, but that draw power is nice. Plus, it's, a decent body on the field. Felguard for the taunts, so 2 of them. I have 1 Fencing Coach. Okay stats once again. It's the 3/2/2, like the Coldlight Oracle, so not exactly the best in terms of stats, but it makes my hero power cost 2 less mana, which is basically a draw for just 2 health rather than 2 mana and 2 health. So that's somewhat nice. It can be nice in kind of last-ditch effort for a draw, RNGesus type status. Razorfen Hunter, just stat effective, puts 2 creatures out on the field, a 3/2/3 and an extra 1/1. So that way they can't necessarily completely clear field with a single spell that's a single target, so they have to do a little bit more effort to clear board, so that can be nice. Plus, if I can combine it with Sunfury Protector, there's 2 taunts right there. Saboteur is more or less, it's good stats, 3/4/3, as well as interrupting, the flow of the opponent. So, if you're against anyone who wanted to, let's say you're against another Warlock and they wanted to get that draw, you make it cost 5 more mana so they don't get that draw, and either that or they have to get the draw and then not play the cards they wanted to play. So that can kind of help disrupt the flow of your opponent. Shattered Sun Cleric, just a great card. 3/3/2, decent stats, but it also gives a friendly minion +1/+1. That is great, especially if I can put it on something like my crowd favorite too. Then when I play it, it gives it +1/+1, and then the ability is +1/+1. So I have 2 of those in there. I also have 2 Void Terrors because they can become really big threats to the enemy, and can sometimes draw out execute type cards instead of my crowd favorite. And if they have killed the crowd favorite, then I have that backup threat. Battlecry, destroy minions on either side of this minion and gain their attack and health. So 3/3/3. So if I use that, for example, so I could play, for example, Razorfen Hunter, summon a 2/3 and a 1/1, and then play Void Terror, and I'm going to get a additional 3/4 off of it. So those guys can actually come quite in handy, become quite the threat. So I already went over crowd favorite. Siphon Soul, I have 1 of those in there as just kind of an execute in case they get something just way too strong to deal with on the field. Or if they get something like you're against a priest and they play Ysera and you need that thing dead now. Siphon Soul's just a nice little execute. Plus it restores some health, which is nice when you're, using up your own health for draws. And then Dread Infernal is, like I said, I just wanted to have a slightly stronger card in there in case I needed just that extra muscle on the field. Plus the deal 1 damage to all other characters can be kind of nice. For example, if I had left them at 1 health and they played taunts that I can't get past, play him, 1 damage, done. Or if there's, they have a bunch of small characters on the field, like a Face Hunter that has a bunch of 1 health guys that are doing damage to me, drop him, wipe them out, and then continue to fill my board. So that's the general idea behind it. There's the deck build. I guess we'll hop into a few matches now and see how it goes. Okay, so yep, Battlecry Warlock. Here we go. So we shall see how this goes. Like I said, I had some good results with it earlier. It was against a Beast Hunter and a Ramp Druid. The Beast Hunter was very, very, very close. Like, if I hadn't gotten a lucky draw, he would have won. But I got the draw. And then against the Ramp Druid, it was actually, I got fairly lucky with my draws from the beginning, and it went fairly well for me. So I don't want those Coldlight Oracles right now. The draw power could be nice, but I don't need him getting his mana early, so the double draw is useless. Or not useless, but could actually be counterproductive for me. And I don't need the Voodoo Doctor, because I don't want to play him turn 1 and not get a heal off of him. And his stats aren't that great. I don't want to waste the heal. Okay, that's much better. So Flame Imp is an ideal turn 1 for us. Get a decent strength card out right at the beginning. Yeah, it does 3 damage to health. Not that big of a deal, especially not right now. Plus, that's all I need to do is get 1 attack off with him, and it's worth. Either that or take 1 spell card out of his hand that would normally do 3 damage. And then once again, worth. Basically, I need to get 3 damage equivalent off of this 1 card, which isn't really hard to do at all, especially considering he has at least 2. So yeah, he's going to attack it. So I'm going to do 3 damage to him, and I'm going to get rid of that claw, which is nice. So paid for itself, not the best value, but still good. So now I'll go ahead and do my Novice Engineer to try to get a draw, as well as a little bit of board presence. Not much, but a little bit. He'll probably just kill it with his hero power, unless he has a card he wants to play. Either way, it's still going to do damage to face, so you're kind of in the same mentality of a face hunter, which is, did my card do damage to face? Then it's worth. Okay, he's just going to trade it for that Stone Tusk, which actually isn't too bad. I'm wondering if this is a version of Beast Druid. So I'm going to play the Felguard, end turn. I'm going to play Felguard to get some decent presence on the board. He's going to have to get past the taunt, and he's going to have to do quite a bit of work to do it now. And I have plenty of other cards that would be to turn 3. I didn't really have a good turn 4 until just then. But that's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and actually use... Do I want to use full mana bar and summon Razorfen? And then kill him and... No, I'm going to silence him because I don't want him getting that extra summon. Now I'll just clear board. Because I don't need him getting that extra 2/1. It's relatively easy to deal with, but I don't have anything that deals with him without wasting an attack, and I don't really feel like doing that. Okay, now he's summoning something big. I probably should have saved the silence for later. With it being a ramp druid, he's going to have all sorts of powerful late game creatures, but oh well. I could Void Terror right here and get... So this would become a 8/7, which would be enough to single-handedly kill Boulder Fist Ogre, or I could do Crowd Favorite, so when I summon other things, it will turn out... It'll get fairly powerful fairly quickly, because he can only kill 1 thing with that right off the back, and then he'll probably kill the Owl with his hero power, but then I can summon... Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and Void Terror after I attack. So, Void Terror. So he's going to kill it this turn by sacrificing Boulder Fist Ogre and doing Shapeshift into face. At least I'm assuming that's what he's going to do. He could do a few other things, like if he has Naturalize, he could do that. Or he could, if he has a, Mark of the Wild would do it, actually. Oh. That's unfortunate. Okay. Okay. I gotta do a little thinking here.
Sorry about that.
What do I want to do? I could put my Sunfury out and then Void Terror both of them. I could put Succubus out and Void Terror, but I don't want to risk the discarding a card. I can't bore and Void Terror. I could just Void Terror him, which would make him strong enough to deal with the threat. And then put out the taunt so he has to attack it. I think that's going to be the best option here. So I'm going to Void Terror my super buff Void Terror. And then I'm going to go ahead and give him taunt. So hopefully he doesn't have a one-shot kill with it. Otherwise, that's going to be really bad for me. Taking a bit of a gamble that he doesn't have, Naturalized or something along those lines. Because even if he sacrifices the Boulderfist and has some way of dealing with it, I'm okay with that. So yeah, so he's gonna have to at least sacrifice the Boulderfist. So that's fine. He did a lot to that Boulderfist to buff it up, and so for him to have had to have killed it is actually acceptable in my mind. So I don't have anything super valuable in my hand right now. You know, that's not really that useful against a druid. So, oh, good, they got rid of that, because druids don't have weapons. So the 6 Swamp Ooze was actually kind of useless for me. And now I've actually got 2 pretty strong cards on the field. So I have a 4/3 and a 5/5. And then he has a 6/6. Okay. Question is how do I want to deal with this? Let's see what I draw. So, I could summon the Dread Infernal, which would do 1 damage to all of them, but not right now. I'm going to see if I can actually buff up. Okay, there we go. That's perfect. So now I can buff that up enough to where it's going to survive trading into the Stormwind. It's going to only have 1 health, which means it's going to be able to kill it next turn, but at least I'm going to get that 7 damage to face. I would normally have liked to have saved that more in order to do more damage with it, but it is what it is. So unless he decides not to kill it right now because he doesn't want to do the 7 damage to face, and he thinks I'm going to trade it into that, then... Oh, yeah, he saved it, so I'm going to only get to make it stronger and stronger now. So, draw a card... +1/+1. Saboteur. +1/+1, and slow him down, and then I get to do that. So now I have a full field. He's a 10, or so my crowd favorite's a 10/4, and then I can clear that. I'm gonna have to sacrifice the Succubus, which is, you know, more damage than I would like to have sacrificed. But I'm going to go ahead and hit that. He's not going to be able to hero power today this turn, so he has to have something else to do 2 damage to that. He can't hero power and have that 1 extra damage, and he can't kill it right off the bat with Novice Engineer. So let's see. So I can wipe out the Ironbeak Protector with. I can trade my crowd favorite into that. So that's going to be. Then I'll have 4 damage on field. Yeah, so there's no way for me to... Well, hold on. I can give it +1/+1, and +2 health, so that's 5, 7, so that's still not enough.
Nature will rise against you.
I could... might as well see what I get. Okay. No, so I'll just go ahead and clear into that. Wipe out his Novice Engineer. And then I'm going to summon my Dread Infernal. He's going to have to do quite a bit to be able to stop me next turn. So unless he can do 10 damage to face, which I don't think he'll be able to do with what he has in his hand, unless he has Force of Nature and Savage Roar combo, then I win. Okay, yeah, no, he's done.
You must cleanse the Sunwell.
Yeah, you can buff that all you want, dude. You still lost. Alright, well played. Just for fun. See what I can get out of the draws. Oh. Okay. He conceded. He didn't want to wait for me to do all my stuff to find out what I could do. Okay, so first game went well. Let's see how second game goes. Yeah, no, this deck I didn't have very high hopes for it when I was initially making it. I was kind of thinking it'd be fun and kind of goofy and all that. But it's actually turning out okay. So I'm admittedly only ranked 14, 3 stars, and I'm playing casual, not ranked. But it still balances out your play level, supposedly. So it's not, you know, not necessarily going to work in like Legend or anything like that, but it's definitely working well enough at a fairly decent level. So I'm having fun with it actually. Let's see, what do I want to keep here? Definitely don't want to keep that. The silence can be nice, but yeah. So probably gonna want that. So yeah, I'll go with this. So turn 2, I'll probably, actually no, turn 1 I'm going to Novice Engineer. Turn 2 I'll Succubus, and I can sacrifice one of those two. Both of them are okay, but not like need to have cards. I really prefer not to get rid of my silence, but we will see. So considering I'm against a Warlock, I would actually really like it if the Succubus would get rid of the Acidic Swamp Ooze. Not the best chance of it, but you know, it would be nice.
Portals online.
Am I against a Mechlock? Interesting. Actually, I haven't seen too many Mechlocks. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do the Succubus, see what it gets rid of. Oh man! Luck is on my side. Yes. Okay, and I'll just hit face with that because there's no point in trading that into the Mech Warper because I can't kill it. I'll just kill it next turn with the Succubus. So there's no reason for me to waste that. So I get 1 extra damage to face, and then he would have to do something else to deal with it. Oh, 2 Mech Warpers on the field at the same time. That's going to be a pain in the butt. He's going to get to spam out his hand. I don't know what I want. Okay, so I'm going to silence the Annoyatron and go straight for the Mech Warpers.
If you're sure.
So he's going to probably just trade into that using the Annoyatron.
If you're sure.
So let's make it to where I can either kill it with the Ironbeak Owl next turn, or he's going to have to trade the Mechanical Yeti into it. One of the two. Unless he wants to trade something else into the Succubus, but that'd be silly of him. Okay, so he's just going for face with the Yeti. And then he's going to trade in the Succubus with that. And I'm guessing he's going to go face with the Mech Warper. No, he's just going to trade with me, okay. I mean, I was going to trade, you could have done 2 damage to face and I was going to trade that into you anyway, so he just missed out on 2 damage to face. Man. Don't really want to lose any of these cards in my hand. I'm not guaranteed to get a 2 card off my draw. I need the board presence. So I could place one of these guys though. I'll go ahead and Saboteur mess, and hopefully he can't, you know. Hopefully he wanted to draw that turn. Hopefully. Who knows, maybe he can't even play anything? No? Okay. There's Lotheb. That's not actually too bad for us since we don't have any spells in hand. And I don't have many spells in general. And the few that I do, for the most part, are fairly cheap. So, just not the end of the world. Oh, okay. So, it gave him something Siphon Soul, but I wouldn't have wanted to use Siphon Soul for either of these anyways.
I am the dancing master.
So, let's see what we can draw off of him. Flame Imp's not bad. Let's see, so he has 9 damage on field, which is going to bring me down to 13. And if I do that, it's going to be, I'm going to bring myself down to 10. I don't want to risk that. Okay. Not too big of a loss. So this is going to be able to get me back 3 health if I use that next turn. Which I might want to end up doing on like the Lotheb. Yeah, he's just going for face. I could do... Oh, that's not fun. Okay, so we have some decisions to do. So I could trade these. So I could trade that into that, summon him, and it would kill him. Okay, I think that's gonna be my best option. Okay. So I could Siphon Soul, hit Lotheb, or I could do this, and that would give him 5, 8. I'd only have 12 health after that. So he'd do 8 damage, which would leave me with 4. Okay, not ideal. Not ideal at all. But actually, no, I can trade that into him. What am I? That's actually not. That wasn't bad at all. I'm glad I. That worked out conveniently for me, even though I totally forgot to factor in the math that it would bring him down to 2 health and I could trade. So never mind. That was actually a very good move. I'm quite happy with it. Okay, what are you doing? You're doing 3 damage to him. Do you have another Dark Bomb or something? Just gonna wipe him out. No, doesn't look like it. Okay. Not sure what you're up to. Admittedly. The question is, what do I want to do here? I could Siphon Soul.
So many possibilities.
Summon Flame Imp, and then trade him into something. So he's gonna die either way, so I'll just Siphon Soul that, see what it summons. Okay, that's not too bad actually. Then that, and then I'll trade him to Lotheb so he doesn't get that extra 5 damage. Not super happy with how this is going, but it's not, you know, the end of the world yet, so that's good. Okay. Let's see, 5, 7. Okay, so I could. Okay, I need some draw power here. Well, let's start out with this one, just to see if she gives me something good enough.
We must
That'll
cleanse the
do.
Sunwell.
So there's that, and then I will give
Shields up.
them taunts, so he can't just trade straight into me. No, I'll just hold on to that spare part for now. I don't need him copying it with Lore Walker Cho and getting an extra damage. So if he's smart, he's gonna trade that into. Well, no, because he won't. No, yeah, he can. Oh my god. Not what I needed at all. Not what I needed at all. Okay. How are we gonna do this? Okay, I need draws. I need more to work with. Okay, so that's nice. And that is also nice.
I will enjoy.
I'm okay with this. And then I'm actually going to give the 2 health to him, so I can trade into that and survive. And then I'll have you trade into the smaller one and survive. Okay. And since Lore Walker Cho is out, any spell he uses is going to be given to me, and he can't kill the Felguard in 1 turn, at the very least. I don't want to use my my hero power to draw, because it's going to take 2 health. I'm at too low of a health to even consider that. Okay, that's annoying. You can't attack face, you have to attack the Felguard. Ah, no! Okay, so now he's going to get to attack with Ysera, and I'm just... Well played, well played. No, that was fun. You know, I think I was showing a little bit of a potential to win there, but it didn't work out. So I think I'm going to do one more game and see how that goes. Hopefully this one does a little bit better. But like I said, I'm still enjoying this deck, and it's far exceeded any expectation I had of it. I wasn't expecting very much out of this deck, but it's definitely holding its own. So yay for this deck. Like I said, this deck would also be better if I had a second crowd favorite, but it's fine, it's fine.
Your soul shall be mine.
Plus, you know, I'm sure there's some other ways I could mix it up. I could also change it from low mana cost to maybe more of a mid-range type Warlock deck, and maybe add in a few higher level cards, but I'm not worried about it. So let's see, I'm against a Shaman who doesn't really... Well, I feel like the draw power is going to benefit me more. So I'm going to go ahead and keep onto the Coldlight. See what I can get out of him. Possibly. But we'll see how that plays out. So turn 1, I'm going to go ahead and Novice Engineer. Coin, Novice Engineer, get a... Nope. Coin. There. Novice Engineer. Give me a draw. Siphon Soul, okay. So there's my execute, which I can hold on to, assuming that my Succubus doesn't get rid of it. Oh, Totem Golem. That is such a good but irritating card. Let's see, what do I want to do here? So I could... I'm going to taunt it so he has to attack it.
You're sure?
That way he doesn't get the 3 damage to face, but then he can attack that, he'll go lose 1, I will attack him with that, bring him down to 1, Mortal Coil him next turn. And then Succubus probably. I think that's probably going to be my best bet. Attack that. There we go.
I got this.
Boom. Mortal Coil. Give me an extra draw. And then... Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and Succubus here. Hopefully it doesn't get rid of my Siphon Soul. Okay, 1 Coldlight Oracle, that's not a big deal. Not super stat effective, and it gives him 2 draws also. Not the best card in the world. I just, you know, always feel that that draw power is more effective on me. Oh, he's going to be able to trade into my Succubus with that. That's actually really frustrating. Okay.
Don't mess with us.
Okay. So I got 3 things. You can't trade into all of them. And any combination of the 2 is going to kill that Flame Tongue. So I'm going to get that Flame Tongue next turn. It's going to be dead. That's how it's... Well, unless he plays Taunt. Earth Elemental is a good taunt. Okay. So... This isn't good. I'm probably just going to have to Siphon Soul that next turn, or I can... Oh, do I want to silence that, or do I want to silence the Flame Tongue Totem? Yeah, silencing that's not going to help me at all. So I'm going to have to still clear it off the board eventually, because it's ridiculous. Well, the question is though, do I want to silence the Flame Tongue Totem, or do I want to give Taunt to these 2?
Shields up.
Go ahead and taunt these 2, and just end my turn there. So that way he can't do damage to face directly with that 9/8. And then I'll just Siphon Soul that next turn. I'm missing 3 health, so that's actually perfect. And then I'll just attack the Flame Totem. Yeah, okay, I'm okay with this.
I will
he had to overload 3, so he doesn't have a ton of options to do right now. But man, that is such a good card. I wish I had that card. I mean, it just creates such a wall for someone to get through. But then again, you can always it's always susceptible to Siphon Souls and things like that. So Siphon Souls, you know, if I was a warrior with Execute, or you know, rogues with Assassinate, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so he's gonna kill that guy. That's a little annoying. Okay. Well, so I can't kill Flame Tongue Totem this turn, but I'm going to get him down to 2 in case he plays another taunt, and in case I get another Mortal Coil. That way it's dead. You know, leave my options up in the future. Not limit myself to assuming that I'm going to be able to kill it next turn. Because that's never a good idea. Shoot rocks out of my catapult at him. Oh my god, are you kidding me? And then he's... Okay, that's great. Thank you for that. It's much appreciated. Okay. So I could crowd favorite and Shattered Cleric that up into a 6/6, which would survive its initial attack, but I don't know what else he has in his hand, and I don't want to deal with it. So I'm going to taunt. Silence that, so he can't kill that in one shot, and then I'll just draw. Okay. Okay, and the next turn is going to be crowd favorite, Shattered Cleric, and then, you know, probably just Voodoo Doctor, either Felguard or my face. I'm not sure what yet. It's probably gonna end up being, or no, because the Felguard takes 1 crystal, so it's just going to be crowd favorite and then Shattered Cleric. Okay. Okay, that's not good. Oh, you know, he just traded. That's fine actually then. So I'll do that.
We must cleanse the
And
sunwell.
then boom. And then I instantaneously have a 6/6 on the field. Bring it. So what are you going to trade into that? So he seems to be somewhat of a totem shaman, which makes me a little worried about the Flame Tongue Totem, but not enough to trade into it with anything. Ooh, I could Void Terror. So okay, so I'm gonna difficult choices. I'm going to Saboteur, Fencing Coach. I'm going to trade you into you. Trade you into you. Do that. Hopefully that doesn't actually hit him, which would be kind of nice. Oh, and never mind, I can buff you even further. Okay, this is looking good. This is looking real good for us, actually. Oh, yeah, he just surrendered. Well played, friend. Well played. Alright, so I think I'm going to go ahead and end it there. So 2 wins and a loss. And even the loss, you know, wasn't a completely devastating defeat. It was a pretty severe loss, but it wasn't... I didn't feel useless, at least that whole match. So that's always fun. It's not like one of those decks where you get rushed down so quickly you don't feel like you got a chance to do anything. Anyway, so thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you have any comments on ways that this deck could be improved, or interesting deck ideas of your own, or even just thoughts in general, leave them down in the comments below. Would love to hear from you. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, like button down below. If you want to see more from me, which I do Hearthstone videos fairly regularly, as well as other gameplay, click the subscribe button. You get my videos. I do one video once a day. Nightly Gaming's Nightly Gaming means nightly. You can also check out the channel for past videos, including other Hearthstone decks I have built. Otherwise, I guess thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!